Oh, and we are live. Does it say recording on your end, Mr. Sohile?
It says recording.
All right, so we should be good. Cool. I mean, we were just chopping it up for a second there, just catching up and discussing where things are going now, in terms of the world, in terms of our graduating class. We're literally graduating this past year and not having the experience to walk and all that stuff. So my heart goes to my friends and family as well as you, Sohile. But anyway, so for those of you who are listening, for those of you who are watching, I have my good friend, Mr. Sohile Ali, here on the line. Now, if you don't know who Sohile is, we go way, way back, right? We go back all the way to middle school when we both met playing football, all right? Jackson Creek Middle School football. Honestly, I think I was starting more than him at the time, but you know what? That's where improvement game. That's where improvement comes in, and you took your skills and you constantly improved all the way up into high school, where I just took a different path, going more of the band route. But you know what? That's besides the point. But Sohal here really knows where I came from personally, and our journeys together, and just in terms of personal growth and experiencing life in general. So who better to bring on the line? Who better to really talk to than my good friend over there, and so good friend over there, Boonton, Mr. Sohile Ali. So Sohile, for those of you who do not know who you are, why don't you give a brief background about yourself? Explain what a background about yourself. My goodness, I can't speak anymore. But a background about yourself and what you're excited for as we come out of 2020.
For sure, Thad. Thanks so much for having me on. We definitely go way back, and it's going to be a really good time to just catch up and stuff too. So really, really happy to have this conversation together. But yeah, I create content in the form of like comedy sketches and vlogs and that sort of stuff online. Always been into like video and stuff like that as like a hobby of mine. But through school, I studied computer engineering here at IU in a new program that just started our freshman year, what would have been our freshman year 4 years ago. And yeah, just recent grad. I'm continuing education here in that same program to get like a master's degree in it in the next 1 to 2 years here at IU. Born and raised in Bloomington County, just doing it. And yeah, and just kind of creating content all throughout, documenting my life, telling my stories all throughout the way. And I've really only started been doing that in the last year and a half, and really been enjoying it. And it's been really dope getting different opportunities through that. And Thad and I have always kind of kept an eye on each other. We haven't necessarily been doing things like side by side. Like you said, we kind of just went through different paths, and that's kind of what happens. But all throughout, we've had the common respect for each other and what we were doing, and we always kind of checked in once in a while. 2 summers ago, we all got together in Indy back when we could do that before the pandemic. That was super nice, and yeah, we've just kind of kept each other on each other's radar, and knowing what Thad's been up to as well has been really awesome. But yeah, I'd say it's a mix of technology and storytelling is kind of what I'm all about, and I'm really enjoying it.
Right on, Sohal. So I don't want to, take too much of your time tonight, but what you just said right there is really profound, because we know a lot of people our age, they go the traditional path. They go to school, get good grades, get a good job, career, and hopefully a career that they, are passionate about. That's what's laid out to us. What stands out to me about yourself is the fact that you are the creative side. You have a creative side within yourself. And that stems all the way back to high school, when you and your cousin used to make videos. And, I would also make videos too. And we would do frequent collabs with each other. You would teach me new video editing skills, acting skills, and you helped me. So I got to give big props. You helped me get more comfortable putting myself out there. So I got to give big props to you, just for, not making fun of me as I messed up. We all messed up together. It was just a good laugh. It was a good time overall. So I got to give big props to you for making my own high school experience a little bit better than.
Bro, those were fun videos, man. Those were fun videos. I mean, Asian Monkey, bro. Never forget Asian Monkey, the OG channel. the first subscriber for anything Yosef and I were doing. But he would be critical too. He would bring those the good feedback comments that made you go, damn, he's right. We actually should have had that in that skit or something like that. So Thad was a good audience member, but also a great, yeah, like I said, you said frequent collaborator as well. Yeah, man, it was good times. It was good times.
Well, you know the receptionist up front.
Yeah.
Oh boy, would I really love to take
That's why I got her
out to a lovely dinner and have her home by a reasonable.
Get out!
By the way, folks, I really don't want to make this a interview style for me asking questions, so how just just answering back like a regular interview. But I just wanted to chop it up with Mr. Sohile here. Just hit the record button and put all the value that we have onto the internet. Because Sohile, both you and I, we're a fan of Gary Vee. And honestly, it takes so much effort and it exhausts me just to come up with new ways, innovative ways to create something new and innovative, right? So why not just document our life with and add a little bit of our personalities to it to resonate with the people watching. So
yeah,
of this whole conversation, but getting into this, I'm gonna get right into this. So you have met some people, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Met some people who have achieved and who has accomplished a level of excellence, you can say, compared to the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm.
You met some people that have, I don't want to name drop anybody, but you met some phenomenal people.
We can name drop them. We can make it this. Let's make this interesting. I hope that's the value I can bring. Is like, who the hell is this guy? Well, he met these guys.
Yeah. So I mean, the people that just comes out to me right now would be Trevor Noah. You met him. You met Terry Crews. That's the actor I was looking for. And of course, recently you got onto Tea with Gary Vee. So before we get onto those specific conversations you had with those people, what inspired you to really reach out to them, and how did you even get connected to them, and what advice would you have for the people just trying to connect with these high level influencers?
Yeah, I mean definitely I've been lucky, and through different circumstances have gotten the opportunity to just maybe have a short conversation, or you just even chat with the people like you mentioned. But I'd say the main impact that I got to be part of was just like I use a union board here on campus, which basically is like the programming board. They get a bunch of money every year to make events. That's how Terry Crews happened. They have a bunch of money to put on a big lecture. They want someone influential. They want someone who has an impactful story to tell to come and influence the greater student body. I so happened to hear about it, and using photography as my excuse to like get in with them, with the group. I was like, I want to help out. Like, I want to provide some sort of value, not just be like, oh, I want to meet Terry Crews, please. Because like, that's every kid. So I was like, yeah. So I helped out, and then through that I was just around, and then that was really my first thing. And then, I was lucky enough to have an internship at the Trevor Noah show last summer, and that didn't even meet him there. I just kind of happened to get in with the auditorium when he came back for his show here. But little brushes here and there. But I'd say, it doesn't necessarily have to be the biggest person that you talk to. Sometimes like just talking to like the crew and like people on Trevor Noah's team was sometimes just as valuable. Because you got to think about a person that gets to that level of their craft, of their industry. They don't really have that much time, and you kind of have to imagine anything that they would say. You could. I guess what I'm trying to say is their time is super valuable, and you don't necessarily need to get like the advice for like their success from them. It's sort of can be like, look at what they've done, watch what they've done, look how they've kind of like study their career, study kind of what they've done. So like you don't walk up and ask like, how do I become a successful comedian, to like one of the highest paid comedians in the world. It's like, well, no shit, like watch what he did, look at his work ethic, he's touring every weekend. It's kind of just says it right there. So that was kind of my thing, is like just kind of researching people and understanding like the value that they really can bring, and not really making it about yourself too much. And just for me, it was like, thank you for like being a figure that I can look up to and be inspired by, and all those. And then you mentioned, the Gary Vee, that was really cool. I comment, we've been fans of him for so long. I've been fans of him since the Hot Ones episode in 2017 he did, and have been like commenting on everything since then. And then randomly he picked now that you can pin comments on Instagram, just like started a few months ago. he pinned one of my comments and he replied to it, and I thought that was gonna be it. I was like, oh shit, Gary Vee he actually liked my comment. Holy, he replied and made a whole thing. Oh my god, I'm gonna tell my kids, oh, Gary Vee replied to my comment. And then I just reached out to his team, and that's kind of where because he chose the comment, that's kind of how they chose. I was able to get in on that show. But then again, I really didn't want to ask him something like, like every entrepreneur would ask, like, how can I build my thing? How can I grow this? Like, bro, he's just going to say, have you seen any of my stuff? Because that's kind of like what it's all about. So I try to go at it, from a different angle, using my background and, technology and stuff, just to give him something he would actually be interested in talking about. And, because we've kind of heard everything we need to in the sense of his advice and stuff. But anyway, yeah, I mean, you've traveled around the world too, heard from, so many people as well. Isn't it like, I just found that the higher you go on that chain of like the people and like the top of their game, like they obviously don't have the time, but you can kind of understand what they would say to you if you were to ask them, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to, I've been in a fortunate situation where I get to meet these high net worth individuals and these influencers myself. Definitely not something to, publicize for sure. I truly cherish those conversations one-on-one to just help me grow and to pass on the knowledge to someone else.
Yeah.
I believe that's really the key to it all. If you are truly a fan of someone and you want to meet this person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like what you just said, you want to go up there and say, how can I build my brand? How can I do this? How can I scale my businesses? When like 20 to 50 YouTube videos free online for you to really help you get on your way. Right? Don't go ask menial questions to these people, because like you just mentioned, we want to value their time. They want to know that you're just not a fan trying to get something, but rather a person that they can just converse to.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say everybody over here, you've done a phenomenal job with the people that you have met as well. So big props to you, and I could someday, no, not someday, man, you are good enough to be the person that people interview. So
appreciate it. But no, yeah, you're definitely speaking the truth there, which is a lot of the stuff is already out there in the form of free resources, like you said, YouTube videos. Their entire career is like a case study on their lives and stuff. So in a way, it's like the Hot One show. That's why that show is honestly so popular too. Is not just because it's like a fun take on the interview, but it's like Sean Evans, the host, really thinks of like these deep questions that they really wouldn't be asked, because the man researches that person for like 3 days prior to the interview. I'm a huge fan of that show. But yeah, like that's how you get someone like actually like interested in what you can ask them and stuff.
Okay, so Sohile, love what you just said right there, and you also mentioned another hobby or a past hobby of yours as well, which is videography, photography, all that stuff. Now, with your Instagram handle, it used to be, I believe, shot by Sohile, shot at Sohile, something of that sort. And then you were just taking pictures once daily. Your pictures were phenomenal. You were making like these small things look brighter, look beautiful, and look impactful. And then it made me realize every time I look at, let's say, an acorn, for example, I was like, wow, you got all the stuff that really stands out from that plant itself, and you really highlighted a small character within that, small item, or what we think is small.
Mm.
With that being said, you then transferred over to more skits. You then transferred over to, like I said, videography, vlogging. You were overall a YouTuber. I would say, I don't know, creative artist. That's what I'm thinking you as a creative artist. Now, let me ask you this: where are you looking to take your creative career, and are you looking to really scale it up to the level where you really want it to be put out to the masses?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. This is something that is like just truly a passion of mine, and that's why I've been working at it and just trying to build upon the audience, like everyone's trying to do, right? And so I mean, the reason I switched from like the photography thing was just because I just like asked myself, what do I really? Because every day it sort of became like a burden to me, and as soon as it became like a burden, I was like, well, that's not really like photography. Like I like it, sure, but like, what is it really that I would just love to like do, and then I just like things that I really love, and like comedy and like the YouTube stuff. Like it goes back when we were kids. It's like something we've always wanted to do. And I just was like, why am I not doing that? And it's like, oh, because I don't know, people may not like it, or I care what people think too much. I put myself out there like that, I was like a little insecure about that. So that's why I was like hiding behind this camera, literally hiding behind the camera, being the shooter on the other end. And I figured that could also be helpful too, is, to get that, to scratch that creative, itch of a desire. But I realized that what I love more is just like being myself, doing the performing, being the person, way more. And that's sort of why I transitioned there. And yeah, I mean, I'm just, I would love for it to get to a point where that could be like all that I do, but it's not there yet. So definitely, I mean, I'm very grateful that, one person decides to watch me, let alone however many I have. So that's the thing, man. I'm just happy just doing it finally. Just, I have no regrets. It's like the Gary Vee thing, like someone posts like something else and gets a whole bunch more likes, but someone posts what they really want to do and gets maybe less, but they're just happier because it's like what they want to do.
Okay, transition here. I'm going to ask you a deeper question. All right, question that is a very cliche question, but I believe that is really impactful. Once you really believe it within yourself, it can really transform your life. The question is, how can you find your passion? I'm not passionate. Let's say I'm not passionate. So you and Thaddeus, you guys are going to where you want to be. You guys are ambitious. Blah 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 blah. I'm not there right now. I don't have the hunger within myself. I don't know what I want. I don't know what I'm looking for. Where can I start?
Well, I mean, I think you could take a look first at just things that you do that that you may not think are like passions of yours, but like things that you just love to do or find yourself kind of gravitating towards in your free time. If you have like a job that you just really don't like, what is it? What are those tabs? What are the other tabs open? Like, what are you looking at? What are you consuming? What do you enjoy doing? And I think that's sort of when it comes down to it, a passion is the thing you would rather be doing. And that's sort of where it kind of dials down for me. How about, what would you say?
No, because like I said, that's a question that I personally get asked a lot, and my answer has been relatively the same. Maybe minor adjustments from there as my awareness grows. And for me, basically, if you want your life to change in any certain aspect, you got to change, right? So that's as basic as it is. And for if you want the next day, let's say the next day, you want the next day not to be the mundane clock in, clock out, go home, eat, Netflix, and go to sleep. If you want to somehow shift that, then you got to do something different, right? Now, that being said, when you don't know your passion, when I answer this question, if you don't know, what you're looking for, first of all, be surrounded by a lot of people. Be surrounded by one or two friends even that know what they want, and just go along with them, because suddenly their ambition, their hunger, their drive.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
Suddenly leaks into you,
Oh,
and
for sure.
and then the ideas will come.
Sure, yeah. They're
That's,
quality,
that,
absolutely.
that's my first that's my first advice.
You gotta have a good group around you. Yeah, that's true. They
For sure.
such products of our environment. It's scary how much of an influence just the closest people in your life can have, good or bad. And so that's a great tip for sure. Just, and like that ties back to the whole. It's hard to cut people out of your life, but it's necessary sometimes.
Like, we know that if you hang around smokers, if you hang around five smokers, you're probably the sixth. If you hang around shoot, if you hang around, five overweight, obese people, you're probably the sixth person eating a Twinkie next to them.
Yeah.
Not to beat anybody up. These are the facts, and these are something that you really have to, look into yourself. As cliche as that sounds, you really have to look into yourself and see where are my current results. Don't beat yourself up for them, but be real with yourself.
Yeah.
How can I start altering it?
Self-awareness, for sure.
For sure. Self-awareness is key.
Yeah. It's like, and it doesn't even have to be like, so it's like, oh, I want to be the biggest at this. Like, well, let's just start by you being happy. What would just make you happy first? I think that's kind of where, was the main thing, like defining success for me, in my opinion, is just like being happy what you're doing. It doesn't matter the car you drive, the house you own. It's like, you have one life. Are you doing what you want to do? And so that's where it's like, people are like, well, they're frustrated where they're at because they're not at a certain level, but they're not, doing what it takes to get there. But then there are some people that are just happy, you know, they're just, you know, some, you know, the odd jobs, but they're just happy being in that job, and that's fine too. You know, that then they're by definition successful. You know.
Look. I mean, I love what you just said right there. You know, Jim Rohn, a person that I look up to. You know, rest in peace. He passed away, I believe, in 2007. Really regret not really looking into his work when he was still alive. But what he says is that success. You know, everybody has their own definition of success.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here saying you should go out for the Bugatti, you should go out for $1 million house, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you go for what you want. You go for what will make you fulfilled. But that Jim said is that why settle your life of existence rather than a life of substance, right? Something that's going to make you fulfilled, something that's going to make you, you know, smile at the end of the day, accomplishing something, whether it's small, whether it's big, in the grand scheme of in the grand scheme of things, you know, small or what's big.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so we know a lot of people, or at least I know a lot of people who are not just comfortable, but are so happy living a simple life. Right?
Yeah.
A small town. They built a house from the ground up. You know, they have a job, but then they love the people, the community around them. You know, of 500 people, so everybody knows each other.
Oh my God, yeah.
Go in and they contribute one another.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people in that situation, and I know a lot of people as well who are in, you know, these bigger cities. You know, bless their heart, they're in like penthouses. They're in, you know, these high-rise apartments as well, but they're miserable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I'm not just going to go in and say, don't chase the money, don't chase the accolades and achievements. But I'm
I mean, yeah, that brings happiness too.
Right. Yeah. What are you doing every day that's going to make you fulfilled? You know, that's when you start to learn how to love the process.
Yes. So
I'm pretty sure you had to realize that as well. I'm pretty sure you had to learn that, you know, moving on, if you didn't see the expected growth in the beginning, you really had to take a step back and just learn to, you know, shoot a video a day or shoot a photo a day.
Yeah. And you know, to put that much, you know, only put as much pressure on yourself as, you know, feel fit. And it's like, as long as you're not complaining about, you know, the where you're at right now, then you're fine. I think, you know, you look at anybody, any person who you want to be like, or, you know, study, you're seeing them at, you know, every day is the peak of their career, you know, but everyone put in those years, everyone put in that work early on. And I honestly, I like to study that time of their lives sometimes, is like when they were just like a loser to their friends, you know, maybe just the idea that they had to go through that. And the fact that they, like, what did they do? They put their head down, they just went to work and they just did it. And that, you know, what we see now is in the person that they are today is amazing and great. Like, oh my God, wouldn't it be nice to be that guy? But you don't know him 10 years ago when they were doing that same thing, but they were nobody. So it's like, yeah, everyone's got to go through it. And I mean, you know, it's easy to get discouraged, sure, if you're not seeing the results right away, but you have to understand, like, change takes consistent decisions over time. That's all it is.
No, for sure.
That's for anything, yeah.
No, I mean, I love what you said, consistency. You know, so first of all, the stuff that we're talking about right now, if anybody here is listening, if you just look on YouTube, if you just search on any kind of interview, we're not saying anything new. This is nothing new.
Yeah, I'm like just repurposing all the stuff I consume too.
Exactly. Nothing we're saying here is new, but at least hopefully by us being, you know, in our positions and our situations, at such a relatively younger age, it resonates with the listeners out there that can really take a look at their own situation. Right? You know, aside from what I'm doing on the side with the business, with, you know, the marketing stuff I'm doing, you know, I do have a 9 to 5 job as well. Now I realized, like, listen, Sohile, I think you can probably relate to this as well. I go into work, I clock in, clock out, just like any other job that you can name up. But I was talking to a lady friend today as we were walking in. Right, she's older. She you know, she's gone through, I think, a lot of stuff in her life. It's like, good morning, Thad, and I said good morning, and then I said happy Monday. I said, hey, happy Monday. I hope you have a great day. And she says, yeah, it'll be a great day because, you know, I'm counting down the days to Friday.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I'm
sure.
counting down the days to Friday. That's the way I'm looking at it. Her true words. Now, if you think about it, people, if you think about it, if you only live your days for Friday and Saturday, not including Sunday, because Sunday you dread Mondays. So if you only live your days to from Friday and Saturday, you hate you hate 5/7 of your life. You hate you know
Yeah, 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 yeah.
you realize how absurd that is.
I mean, yeah, I agree with that. But like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with enjoying the weekend. I would say there's nothing wrong with like enjoying that time. You know, if she's, still going to this job, um, maybe she's not like it's like the main thing she wants to be doing. But I think there is some value in like having a shitty job, as it said sometimes, where it's like doing that job so that you can kind of support doing something else that you really enjoy doing as well. But no, I understand. I know the sentiment you're.
No, so how? So I mean, the point I was trying to get across right there was the different of attitudes. I said great
Yeah, yeah,
because we're both working the same job. We're doing the exact same thing. Maybe with alterations, she does this, I do that, but we're doing the exact same thing. We have the same boss. We have this same situation, but how she has this attitude and I have this attitude. Right?
Well, yeah, yeah. Has she been there long?
Yeah. So with that being said, um, I don't want any of the listeners. Now, this may you may agree or disagree with this. You saw how as well. I don't believe you should ever be competent or complacent or what's the other word for complacent that starts with an S? Satisfied. I don't believe you should ever be satisfied with your current situation because as you are satisfied and as you become complacent, you stop growing yourself. That's when the fire within yourself starts to dissipate because you get comfortable staying within the comfort of the security.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I agree with that. So like, just always be improving, sure, and like wanting to better yourself. But I mean, would you put happiness in there? Like,
No, no, no. Of course, of course.
okay, okay. You can be happy with where you're at in life, but also still want,
No, 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 no. Here's a quote that I learned from, my mentor. He says, you should always be happy. Find the good in the situation. Happy, at least be grateful. We can go into gratitudes all day long and all that stuff, but be grateful, happy every single day.
Mhm.
But I believe you should be happy and grateful while striving for more, increasing not just more money, but increasing yourself,
Mhm.
improving yourself.
Mhm.
Right? That's what I truly believe. Otherwise, you fall into the trap of staying in comfort, and that's when not to beat up anybody, but that's when you start to let yourself go physically and mentally.
Mhm. Mhm.
We see that all around here. Fortunately, like we said, we're young and we found our ambition, we found our drive at a young age. So
Yeah.
as long as we keep that up, and in terms of our careers,
Yeah.
we stand out from the crowd. But for the listeners out there, that's pretty much the message that I want to get across right now. I don't even know how we got into this conversation. But Sohel, if you have any more things to say about that, we can talk about that. Otherwise, I have, but I have a couple more questions for you.
No, that's fine. No, I agree with that. I think, yeah, definitely tying it into just being happy and, you know, I mean, I believe that some people are just, like you said, fine the way they are, they're just, satisfied with the way they are. And I would say, that's fine too. That's super fine. I mean, unless you are looking for something else. Again, if you're complaining about your life, if you are unhappy, then you can definitely spread it. Really, we're not telling everybody, every Joe Schmo to like reevaluate their life and do it, just because. So if you're happy and you're doing it and like you're just living life, that's fine. That's fine with me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I totally agree with that. And so Al and I, we're not trying to impose any of our beliefs within you. We're not trying to impose any of our opinions, for sure. But if it does make you take a look at where you're at, how's that gonna hurt you? If it just takes you a look at, maybe I can maybe start doing something, or maybe, oh, I just take a look. I'm happy with my direction, and you just keep on going.
Yeah.
Just your life. I truly, I can't say, I don't have any say within your life,
Yeah.
right? So, but with that being said, as we move on here, I'll ask you a question here. So, how has your college experience been? Because for me, I went through 1 year of university over in Indiana or Indianapolis, IUPUI.
Mhm.
I didn't find that, working the way I wanted to work, or I didn't work it the way I should have worked it. You
Mhm.
know, um, both had its faults right there. I didn't put in the work, and I didn't find the value that I wanted from it. But with that
Okay.
said, you're going for your master's right now,
Uh-huh.
right? How has your college experience been? And for those of you who are young in young 20s or just graduating high school, what advice would you give to them, or what suggestion would you give for them to take their lives and really start to elevate it to the next level?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I feel like I'm hardly in a position to give that. But I will say from my experience, from the people I've seen, being here, going into the 5th year in higher education. Here, it's like, at a certain point here, people kind of realized they looked at a career and they said, that's where I want to be. So like that, I want to do that job. I want to be the software engineer. I want to be the IT guy. I want to be the physician. So they kind of looked at where they were, where they wanted to be, and just like, okay, let's unravel that. Is it like more school? What kind of bachelor degree does that look like? So in a way, that's kind of what I did too. I said, okay, what's a good sustainable career? Computer engineering. Okay, so let's unravel that. Let's get the degree to meet that requirement. And I think, it's hardly built for like someone really trying to do their own thing, like primarily. So, and I was blessed. I didn't accumulate any college debt. Oh yeah, audio is good as well. I'm good. Sorry. But yeah, that's the thing too. It's hard because the college thing is sort of in debate these days because of its value, and I truly believe the argument of people saying that you shouldn't, because if you are going to take on all that debt, and not necessarily have an idea of what you want to do slash passion for the thing that you studied, that's a really rough spot, and you have all the debt because of it. So it's like, I'm kind of mixed on the subject because again, I'm very lucky. It worked out for me, and I truly enjoyed it. The experience personally has been great because it's where I think I've kind of really gained my leadership skills in different organizations and the jobs that I had because I was a student. So and a lot of these things happened just because I was affiliated with the school. So, and again, that was just me, and it's it's taken me to the career that I wanted to unravel in the first place and find out how to get there and how to do the cool stuff like that I thought those people in those industries were doing. And along the way, I've met really great people and had great opportunities. And so yeah, just continuing that into higher ed even more. I think it just plays to my strengths, which is getting to know people and just honing in on the craft, like the skills, because these are like a degree, and those skills are kind of required to even work in that industry that I'm headed for in the tech world, because it's just still seen as you could get those skills online, and you could learn to be a very good, and there's like online programs way cheaper than a 4-year degree, but as it currently stands, the industry still values that piece of paper. But yeah,
Right, right,
you know,
right. I agree with a lot of things you just said right there. And I love what you said in the beginning, where if you want to become a coder, if you want to get into IT,
yeah,
engineer,
yeah,
if you know what you want, and
yeah,
which is going to be the tool that you use to get you to your dream career, perfectly fine.
hmm hmm
If it wasn't for colleges, I would not trust doctors. Okay, I'm going to trust a doctor that did not go to college.
yeah, exactly. Perfect example. Go
Right,
to a doctor who went to college.
right, right. So, with that being said, I'm not anti-college.
hmm
Even though it didn't work out for me or I didn't work out for it,
hmm
I'm not anti-college.
Yeah,
I'm against the stigma that
yeah,
that's placed where it's a necessity now, where it's a necessary thing to take your life to the next level. It's ingrained within all of us. With our backgrounds,
South Asian, hell yeah.
exactly.
Hell yeah. We come from the same, yeah, it's very similar. Heck yeah. Yeah, our parents came to this country, you go to school, you work hard, you get a job, and that's you repaying us for all the hard work we put in to get you here. So
Yeah, yeah.
For sure. It's definitely, yeah.
Yeah, like I'll just go in a little bit about what I did, like why I think college didn't work out for me and what I could have done better.
Mm-hmm.
I went into college not knowing anything I wanted to do. I just knew I wanted to go into business,
Yeah.
but I didn't want corporate. I didn't want to do marketing, HR. Nothing really stood out. I just like business.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I just like business in general.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought by going to college, I will learn the skill set. I will get the inspiration to really start to do something with my life moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not the case because freshman year you got to take all these gen ed classes that doesn't necessarily resonate with where you want to go.
None of them. Yeah.
So that's my first introduction. Why am I writing 3,000 word essay about a book that I don't want to read?
Yeah.
That's going to help that's going to be the deciding point on whether or not I go to the next level
In business of all things. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I'm going to be honest. I messed up. I didn't join the club like IUPUI, the college that I went to. It's a commuter school, right?
Yeah.
So we didn't have that bond that you have over there at IU.
No one, not a freshman dorm. It's nothing like that.
It's not as culturally involved as it is at IU. However, I cannot use that as an excuse because I didn't put myself out there. Like, wow, you took college and you ran with it, right? You developed your skills, leadership skills. You developed your overall personality. You became more self-aware within the 4 or 5 years that you're in college. For me, I didn't even want to take the next step. So for me personally, I was still in my own way. So it was good for me to take a step back because I think you can agree with this. No amount of education or no education will ever teach you how to. No amount of education will teach you who you are.
Yeah.
And then,
of course. Yeah.
For sure. And then, with that being said, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know where I wanted to go. So for me, why am I going to spend another $30,000? Because I already spent 10. Why am I going to spend another $30,000 on something?
Yeah.
That being said, I just want to throw that stuff out there because we had our career paths went basically two separate directions, but they're both elevating our lives.
Yeah, of course. And we're happy.
I just want to get that point of view across from your end and share a little bit about what I could have done better and why I didn't decide college was the right route for me. But like I said, But like I said, Sohile, I don't want to spend any more of your time than necessary. I know your time is valuable because time is all that is. Time is our life, essentially. So do you have any closing thoughts for the listeners out there? Do you have any closing thoughts on how can they maximize 2020, even though it's not going in the direction that we see it going? We want it to go.
Don't have any regrets. And I mean, that just means like, just do what makes you happy, or find that out and do everything it takes to do that, and do it on your own terms. I say, don't have any, oh, my parents didn't let me, oh, my roommate didn't let me. Okay, if you want to do it on your own terms, do it on your own terms. If not, just put your head down, get louder headphones, and do what you want to do, because it's your life and no one's going to live it for you. And be kind and be grateful. And if you work hard and you're kind, amazing things will happen.
Oh my gosh, you just hit me at a deep right there. You said do things on your own terms.
Yeah.
I
mean, that's.
No, I love that. That hit me personally because once I found out what freedom is, it's not because you have a lot of money. It's not because of this and that. It's when you are aware and when you fundamentally believe that life is what you make it.
Mm-hmm.
Freedom right there. Freedom does not equal good. Okay.
Right. No, not to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of stress. Yeah, because it's on you now. So yeah.
Exactly. It's all on you. It's all about self accountability, self responsibility, for sure.
Yeah.
That's also the beauty of it, because at the end of the day, like the people we look up to, at the end of the day, win or lose,
Mhm.
look at the end of it and said we did that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You know? So I believe that's a great note to end it on. Where can people find you? So how I know you're plug this. This is time to plug in all your platforms for those listeners out there.
Let's go. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Sohile Ali. It's Sohile Ali. And follow on Instagram. It's at Sohile.ali. And happy to chat with anyone who wants to learn more about anything that we talked about. And we should do this again, Thad. Maybe we'll get someone else on here as well and have a good conversation. But yeah.
No, for sure, for sure. And once traveling and once meeting up in groups become more of a comfortable thing, I'll definitely swing by Bloomington. I'll definitely swing by the hometown. We'll gather up the troops and
I'll come up. I want to check out that house again. I want to. You still got that electric longboard? Do you still have that thing?
yeah.
Ride that thing.
I haven't used it in a while, but you know what? So there is ready to be used. So I'll bring it down. You can come up and we just chop it up, enjoy time. But with that being said, I hope everybody here listening or watching has got something out of it. If not, whatever. We can only
Coming out of it, yeah. It was
from our
fun.
end,
Yeah.
But I hope, like I said, I hope these conversations really resonate with everyone here. And like I told Sohile in the beginning, it's not about getting the celebrities. It's not about getting these high net worth individuals to share their stories that have been interviewed like 5, 10, 15, 100 times, right? I personally believe everybody has a story right here. So Sohile, it's been a pleasure to talk to you, and let's just get at it this year.
Thanks, Thad. You keep on hustling, bro. I admire you, and we'll talk soon. And thanks again for this dope, enlightening conversation. And appreciate it.
For sure, my man. So everybody, have a great night, great evening, great day, whatever you're at, and we'll talk to you soon.